So we open in Meredith's Airbnb. So it looks like her and her husband gonna stay together. So Jen's upset that her party didn't go as planned, but you took the bait. You shouldn't have cared what them heifers was saying to Mary behind your back. You said, I'll deal with that tomorrow. So Sharif ain't speaking to her after her little outburst, and I'm not surprised. So now Whitney and the linebacker get together at the spa to talk about the evening. I don't think Whitney did nothing wrong. Whitney, you shouldn't have brought that stuff up at Sharif's party. That was not the time or the place. But Jen did not need to react the way she reacted, but you didn't need to bring it up. Okay, if you wanted to pull Jen aside, she should have been aside rather than having all the other heifers come up. And also, Whitney, you were taking too long to make your point. You were going in circles, you were babbling, you were drunk. Too drunk to make a point. So Heather's like, I wanted the blow up, but I wanted her to blow up at them fake friends because they've been talking behind her back. She's like, I see the mean girl game they're playing. Now Jen's mad at everybody, but nobody's taking accountability. Heather's like, now I'm your actual friend. We've gone through stuff together. Why are you kissing these heifers' butts? Why do you need their approval and their friendship? So Whitney said, okay, all this behind the scenes talk, let's go on and tell it to Jen. You got a lot to say, let's say it to Jen. Let's say it in her face. Put the camera in her face. Now, Jen, what do you mean Whitney came with some weird bullshit that makes no sense? Mary was lying, or the other girls were lying. Why wouldn't you just be like, okay, I'll suss this out today, but you always gotta overreact. But now you whining to your assistant. Now, I feel like Lisa could be lying in saying that she was afraid of Jen, but I don't think Meredith lying. I think it's Mary who's telling the fib here, because she got cut out. And this is Mary's way of throwing the other girls under the bus, because she's like, okay, well, if y'all aren't gonna talk to me, then you know what, let me leave you with a little mess too. So Meredith is over it because she's like, mm-hmm. And then Whitney said people was talking about our merge. Oh, God. Now we're at Mary's closet and she's putting on, it's a hideous dress and then a hideouser belt. I know hideouser isn't a word, but that's how ugly these clothes are. You have to create a new vocabulary for them. You love fashion. No, you don't. You love being gaudy. You love labels. You do not love fashion and you don't know style. Taste? Pfft, you're unfamiliar. Your belt isn't making you claustrophobic. It's that cluttered closet. So Whitney calls Mary and says, well, Jen flipped out when I told her what you told me about Meredith and Lisa. But by the way, Mary, Lisa and Meredith said they never said that. They never said it. Well, I don't say anything that isn't true. No, we've caught you in a few lies. And a few delusions. I mean, you live, I don't know where, but it ain't Earth. At least not mentally. So Heather's happy that Beauty Lab is expanding. She spent $50,000 on tile. I want to see what that looks like. I hope it looks good. Because her taste is iffy. It's iffy. Her house don't look bad, though. So Meredith and Seth are going to dinner with Lisa and her ugly husband. Okay, what's up with these jackets with the buttons? Is it the 90s again? Y'all are trying to give a dynasty tea. That was Denver. This ain't Denver. And you ain't that stylish. So Meredith says, okay, me and Seth is back together. We starting over again. It's a fresh slate. We gonna move forward. Good for them. So now they get in on the party and how everybody's acting like high schoolers. And they do kind of have a point. Whitney, that was the worst moment to do that. And Jen completely overreacted. I'm starting to believe neither one of them said they were afraid of Jen to marry. And then Seth made a good point. Jen, if she did tell you something in confidence about her marriage, why would you go spilling that tea? That ain't a friend to me. Lisa and Meredith ain't here for the rest of the group, and I can't blame them. They got thrown under the bus when they didn't do anything, and they have to deal with all these histrionics? No, thank you. Oh, Lord, so we gonna apologize to Jen in the hot tubs? This spa ain't really it. Like, you could have done something nicer, girl. She a hotel spa girl. This is a little too natural, and it looks chilly. I mean, I get it. I love a hot tub too, but this is too tubby. Okay, now I understand that you really tried, but Jen, You should have tried to keep your emotions in check at the party, and I could understand being hurt by what Whitney did, but you have to take responsibility for your crap with Sharif. Just because of this one little outburst, he should not be talking to you. But there was already crap with your marriage. It was already strained. It was already frayed. You two worried about Meredith's marriage instead of your own. Now, Whitney, you got to take responsibility. That was not the time to bring it up. So it is partially your fault that it went wrong, because you could have done that at a lunch. Oh my goodness, nobody pushed you to throw the glass. You can be upset without throwing a glass. You could have gone to the bathroom, had a scream for a moment, and then come back outside and, kept the party going instead of messing up your husband's night. You have to take responsibility for your actions. Because that information was not important enough. Those people are not important in your life enough to be throwing glasses and ruining your husband's birthday party just because some heifer said something about some other heifer. Now, if they was talking about your marriage or something, maybe. But to pout over what pigeons you pal around with? Girl, boom. Oh, God. Now, Whitney, you want to say, well, I didn't blow it up. You didn't blow it up, but you also shouldn't have done it at the party. Both can be true at the same time. But Jen, you are just milking this and going off on this emotional tangent, and I'm tired of it, and so is everybody else. So Jen storms off, you want to tell me it's my fault? Well, yeah, and you are, Heather is over it. Why do her arms look like ham hocks? So Jen get back in the tub. So now they basically kissing Jen's ass. We should have brought it to you at a different time, which is true. And Heather, you did kind of mess it up. That is a point. Jen needs to own her shit, but they we gonna get to that at another time. Heather's like, she going through something right now. She's not in her right mind. I don't know if she's been in her right mind for the past couple episodes, quiet as it's kept. But then Heather gonna say, we tried to tell you that these girls was talking about you behind your back, but you didn't believe us. Oh, and now Heather says, I feel like you want to be Lisa and Meredith's friend more than you want to be my friend. So Jen go on and accept Whitney's apology, but she's still not over it because she felt that she messed with her marriage. You're the one playing at your marriage, not her. So Lisa's throwing a businesswoman's brunch. Oh, this is nice. Nobody's screaming, yelling, everybody's being supportive. How fun. I can leave the event without a headache from the screaming. All right, so now Coach Shaw finally comes home, and I don't care. I don't want to watch this scene. I know they have a bad marriage, and I know that she's a little nutty boo and shouldn't have been drinking, and maybe that's why she overreacted. Let's go with that. Okay, so now Jen's getting it out. She's angry with him because he wasn't there, and she needed him there, and she needs him here now. You can't do this long-distance marriage no more. I can dig it. I understand that. I really do, because that is something where I needed you in that moment, and the moment is gone, and we can never get it back. And I'm always going to be angry with you, because whenever I go back there, not only do I have the grief, but I have the loneliness. Okay. So he's like, look, I can never be ashamed of you, and I get it now. I'm really sorry. I understand. So we ended on a breakthrough note, but let's see what they're doing next week.